Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the schedule and the tribal areas, right? This is the topic on which we have been discussing right now, okay? And within this topic, basically within this topic, or you can say this series, these all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion, like the introduction part, like the schedule areas in India and overview of it, like the criteria for identification of the scheduled areas, like the constitutional provisions and the governance, like the concerns that are related to the scheduled areas, like the administration of the scheduled areas, like the scheduled tribes, like the general concerns of the tribal communities, like the addressing the challenges, like the significance of the indigenous communities, like the problems faced by the tribal groups, like the conclusion, and like the administration of tribal areas. Okay, so these are the topics that we had scheduled for the discussion. If we talk about the topics that we have covered so far, so basically we have done with the introduction part, we have done with the scheduled areas in India, overview of it, we have done with the criteria for identification of scheduled areas. All right. The topic on which we have been discussing right now, this is the constitutional provisions and governance. Okay. And the topics that we are totally left with. This is the concerns related to the scheduled areas, administration of scheduled areas, scheduled tribes, general concerns of the tribal communities, addressing the challenges, significance of the indigenous communities, problems faced by the tribal groups, conclusion, and the administration of tribal areas. Okay, so these are the pictures that we have created so far altogether. I hope that you have revised the previous lecture in the well enough manner before you have come for this lecture. But before this, I'm going to ask you a very simple question that we had just covered in the previous lecture. Okay. And the question is to be Article 244.1 and Article 244.2 basically deals with which schedules of India or Indian Constitution, you can say. Again, I'm repeating the question. Article 244.1 and Article 244.2 deals with which schedule of the Indian Constitution? To answer this, you will have the 30 seconds to think and answer. Time starts now. Ten seconds have been passed off. Last 20 are remaining. Last 10 seconds are there. All right, the time's up. So the correct answer is Article 244.1 deals with the, you can say the fifth schedule, not first, fifth schedule. And Article 244.2 deals with the sixth schedule. Okay. So this is the question that we had covered. Let's start with this topic. In the previous lecture, basically we had seen the sixth schedule that is deals by the Article 244.2. Okay. And basically the sixth schedule deals with the administration of the tribal areas in 4 states of the Northeast. These states are the state of Assam, the state of Meghalaya, the state of Tripura, and the state of Mizoram. Deals with these 4 states, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Okay. And we had deals with that basically that is provided the autonomous district councils and autonomous regional councils. Okay. Now, the next question that I'm going to ask you is simple. What is the difference between these two? The autonomous district council and the autonomous regional council. To answer this, 30 seconds, time start now. All right, the 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time's up. So basically, the Autonomous District Council is the broad concept that it deals with the entire district, and it could include more than one tribes. Autonomous Regional Council is a smaller or the narrow concept, you can say, that deals with some particular region, okay, and maybe specifically for one tribe. All right. And basically, the autonomous district councils and the autonomous regional councils for these areas are basically providing the significant autonomy in the governance in that areas. Okay. Now, thereafter, what we had discussed, that basically we had discussed the tribal advisory council. And as we had discussed that it is a council means that it is more than one person committee, or you can say multi-member committee. Advisory, it means that basically it's provided the advices regarding the tribe. That what is known as Tribal Advisory Council. Okay. So the states that having the scheduled areas are basically required to establish their own Tribal Advisory Councils, the TACs. Okay. That advises the governors on the matters that are related to the welfare and development of the scheduled tribes in the state. Okay, that consists up to the 20 members. Okay, and at least 1/3 of them must be a woman. Okay, so that is what we had discussed. Now let's move forward. Thereafter, if we move further in the constitutional provisions and the governance, okay, then what we have in front of us, basically we have the Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act, PESA 1996. Please remember the full form. What is the full form is? Full form is Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act 1996. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you another question that is going to be a very simple question, that through which committee's recommendation the Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas Act or the PESA Act was established. Again, I'm repeating the question. Through which committee's recommendation the PESA 1996 was established? To answer this, you will have 30 seconds and your time is going to be start now. Ten seconds have been passed off. Last 20 are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the times. So the correct answer is the Bhuria Commission. Okay. What commission? The Bhuria Commission or the Bhuria Committee. So like as I had told you, basically the Bhuria Committee was appointed in the year of 1996, that all we know. Okay. For the first time, when it was appointed for the first time. Okay. So basically that gives an idea of formulating an act PESA. Okay. If we talk about the background of it, so let me tell you one thing straightforward. Like when we were covering the Panchayati Raj institutions, that is a topic that we had already covered. So when we were talking about the Panchayati Raj institutions, the one thing that I had told you was that basically the Panchayat is not a new concept to the Indian society. Okay. The Panchayat system had its stress in the ancient time and basically modified in the medieval times. Okay. Like in the medieval times, they were known as the Mukaddams and all. Okay. Chaudhries, the Mukaddams and all. Right. In the ancient times, basically these were the Vajrapati and all. Okay. So basically you can say when the Britishers came to India, all right, when the Britishers came to India, their two policies worked a lot in order to demolish the panchayat system. And what are these two policies they have adopted? The first policy was that, like, the Britishers were trying to get the control by their own hands. Okay, like you can say, when we talk about the traditional panchayat system, so the hierarchy was like that. First, the villages are there. Above villages, there is the zamindars. Above zamindars, there is the subedars and all. Above subedars, there is the central ministers and then the ruler or the king. Okay. So zamindars were basically the main, you can say, element that were controlling the panchayat. Okay. And the panchayat was working for the local governance at the village and the sub-village levels. But when the Britishers came in the picture, what they did, they implemented their revenue systems, like the permanent settlement. In the permanent settlement that was implemented in the Bihar, Bengal and Odisha, all right, what the Britishers did, the Britishers fixed the revenue like 9/10. Okay, 9/10 piece of the production would be given to the Britishers, while the 1/10 would be holding by the zamindars. All right, but we know the permanent settlement was failed. Why? Because the tax rate was too high, and even the zamindars were unable to pay it. Okay. Then the next system that they took was the Ryotwadi system that was in the Madras and the Bombay presidency. In the Ryotwadi, what the Britishers tried, that Britishers removed the zamindars from the picture. Like the previous picture was that, first at the bottom, farmers, in the mid, the zamindars, then the British authorities. The farmers were paying the taxes to the zamindars, zamindars were paying it to the Britishers. That was the system that was in the permanent settlement. But in the Ryotwadi, what the Britishers did, they removed the middle one. It means that farmers at the bottom, at the top, directly the British authorities. The zamindars were abolished. When the zamindars were abolished, ultimately the role of panchayat, what? Dismissed. Why? Because, as I have told you, the zamindars were the main elements that were running the panchayat system on that time. The next system that they were implemented. Why? Because the Ryotwadi was also failed. And how? When the Britishers came, basically the Britishers brought the monetary economy. Many times I had told you the same. Before them, India was experiencing or having, you can say, the bargaining economy. Okay, or the barter economy. In the barter economy, what was the provisions? Like basically, the farmers were paying the taxes in, you can say, form of their production. Okay, but when the Britishers came, they were asking the taxes in the form of cash, and the farmers were borrowing the cash from the moneylenders and all. And due to the suppressing nature of the moneylenders and the negligence by the British officers, the farmers protested a lot, and Ryotwadi system also got failed. Then the third system that the Britishers implemented, that was the Mahalwadi system. Okay, that was in the Punjab and the northern states of India. Mahalwadi system, the Britishers revived the panchayat system at some extent. Okay, but when the Mahalwadi system got also failed, the Britishers again demolished the Panchayati Raj institutions or neglected their importance. Then the second cause, like the first cause was the revenue settlements that the Britishers introduced at the village level. Because of this, the role of Panchayat got demolished. Okay. The next thing that the you can say the Britishers did was that they implemented the next thing, and that was the urbanization. That was the urbanization. Like you can see, when the Britishers came to India, the Indian economy was the rural economy. We had the cities, but not so much cities. When the Britishers came, basically the Britishers introduced the monetary economy. They introduced the manufacturing and all. So due to this, many, you can say, the large segment of the Indian population that was previously residing in the villages, that were started moving towards the newly constituted cities or the urban areas. Because of this, the panchayats get demolished. But we know, when India got independence, when India got independence, basically on that time, the Mahatma Gandhi was dreaming that panchayat system should be revived. Why? Because if we talk about the division of powers and the level of government, India is having the federal structure. In the federal structure, there is the two form of government, the central government and the state government, right? We have the two form, the central and the state. Central government responsible for the entire nation, right? The state government is responsible for the respective state. But both the central level and the state level is not so much capable to look after the regionals. Why? Because the regions having their own demands, having their own concerns, and because the limitation of the powers, because the limitation of the resources, the central and the states could not look after them easily. All right. To overcome the situations, we were requiring the local government at the local level. Okay. As the significance of this, basically we started traveling back towards the panchayat system, okay, that we had in the ancient time, got modified in the medieval time. And then we know various committees were appointed, okay, to look after the topic of reviving the panchayat systems in the country. Okay. The first committee was the Balwant Rai committee, then the Ashok Mehta committee, and other committees also. Okay. So thereafter, we know the panchayat system came to the picture. So this is going to be another question that I'm going to ask you. Which amendment act basically established the panchayat system in India, or you can say the panchayati raj institutions in the modern India? Okay. To answer this, 30 seconds you have. Time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. So basically the correct answer is 93rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. Again, I'm repeating 93rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. Okay. So if you're talking about the panchayat, and as I have told you, the panchayat is the form of the local self-government. Okay. At the rural level, at the village level. At the urban level also, we had implemented the same concept, that was the concept of municipality. Okay. However, we can say the topic or the concept of the municipality was actually developed during the British era and when the Britishers were in the country. Okay. So we know that after the independence, we made the several changes in the local urban government. Okay. And then we established the municipalities in India. Now the question is, through which act basically the municipality system was established in India again? To answer this, again, the 30 seconds I will give you and your time starts now. All right, the 10 seconds have been passed. Last 20s are remaining. Okay, the last 10 seconds. Time's up. The correct answer is 94th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. So remember, the 93rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 established the Panchayati Raj institutions. The 93rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 established the municipal corporation. Okay. So here I have just given you an overview, or you can say a little bit revision. And why I have provided you? Because when you get, you can say regenerate the panchayat and the importance, then only you will be able to learn about the PESA. Because without learning this thing, without revising this thing, you won't be able to grasp the concept of PESA in the proper form. Okay. Okay. So as we know, basically, the panchayats were established to look after the rural areas. Why? Because these are the socio-economic backward areas. And when they will have their own government at the local level, then they would have the opportunities to develop themselves, right? That was the thing. But the area, if the area is having the schedule and the tribal, okay, and the area is also urban, sorry, also rural area, okay, then how the panchayat's benefit would be there? Why I'm saying this? Because we know the schedule and the tribal areas, their administration and the provisions regarding the governance are differs from those which are available for the normal level or at the main streets. Okay. So basically similar things applicable here also. Okay. To overcome this thing, basically the Bhuria Commission, when it was appointed in the 1996, and when the Bhuria Commission was learning the facts and figures, basically the Bhuria Commission recommends the PESA. It means that why not extend the panchayats to the schedule area? Okay. So if any area is having the rural background, having the panchayat, and also the area is having the schedule areas or the scheduled tribes, then automatically the panchayat of that area would be extended under the PESA Act of 1996. Okay, PESA was enacted to extend the provisions of the Panchayati Raj system to the scheduled areas and basically empowering the Gram Sabhas in these areas. Okay, so basically if we are talking about the Panchayati Raj institutions, so we know the Panchayat is the three-tier system. The Panchayat is the three-tier system. Now you are required to tell me the names of these tiers also with the hierarchy. To answer this question, 30 seconds you will have and your time is going to be start now. 10 seconds have been passed, last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds are there. Recall it, the time is going to be up soon. Alright, the time is going to be up and the time's up. 10 seconds I have granted you in the extension. Okay. So basically at the bottom, there is the Gram Sabha at the village level. Above it, there is a block samiti that is at the, you can say, a subdivision level. At the top of it, there is a Jila Parishad that is at the district level. So remember from top to bottom, Jila Parishad, Block Samiti, Gram Sabha. From bottom to top, Gram Sabha, Block Samiti and the Jila Parishad. Okay. If we're talking about the panchayat, why should not talk about the municipality or the local urban government? So now you are required to tell me the, you can say, the three divisions of the local urban government. Okay, the three divisions of the local urban government, what are their names? To answer this question, again, I will give you the 30 seconds and your time is going to be start now. Just think about it. 10 seconds have been passed off, last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Alright, the time's up. The correct answer is municipality, municipal council and municipal commission. Okay, from top to bottom, municipal corporation or municipal commission you can say, then the municipality committee and then the municipality. From bottom to top, municipality, municipal council and the municipality commission. Okay, this is the thing. Again, the next question that we could see here is that which was the first state to adopt the Panchayati Raj system in India? Okay, that is going to be the question. Which was the first state that appointed the Panchayati Raj institution in India? To answer this, 30 seconds, time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed off, last 20s are remaining. Okay, the last 10 seconds are there. Come on, the time is going to be up. Alright, the time's up. So the correct answer is Rajasthan. The Rajasthan was the state that adopted the Panchayati Raj system for the first time in the country. The second question that I'm going to ask you is also related with the same. Which was the first district in which the Panchayati Raj institution was implemented for the first time? Again, I'm repeating, which was the district in which the Panchayati Raj system was implemented for the first time? Okay, 30 seconds you will have to answer this question and your time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed off, last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds are there. Time's up. The correct answer is Nagaur. Nagaur is a district of Rajasthan, okay, where for the first time the Panchayati Raj institution was implemented. Okay. So basically the PESA, as we know, was enacted to extend the provisions of the Panchayati Raj system to the scheduled areas also. Okay. And basically empowering the Gram Sabha, because we know the Gram Sabha is the most basic unit of the Panchayat system, because it is at the village level or it is the village assembly. Okay. So if we will grant the power to the most basic and the most basic ground unit, then only we could ensure that the upliftment of the tribals of the scheduled people would be achieved. Why? Because at upper level, the things are not so much clear when we compare it to the ground level. Okay, that is the thing. Thereafter, we know it grants Gram Sabha the substantial authority over the local government. Okay, including the powers to manage the natural resources that lies within that village area. Okay. Thereafter, we note that the panchayat could make their own rules and regulations at the local level and also entitled to enforce these laws. Okay. And then the Gram Sabha is required to approve the development projects. Okay. So we can say any development project that is to be launched there, that is to be required to be approved by the Gram Sabha. All right. Under the PESA Act. So that is the thing. So students, basically in this lecture, we have finished it here. In the next lecture, we will continue from here. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture. Be ready for the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.